Domain Independent Facility Control Framework. So, Module 7 muna tayo kasi last time we discussed yung sa facilities management, if you could remember, para lang maitay natin ito doon sa facilities management and the previous topic before we jump to doon sa Module 6, which is the Adaptive Cyber Physical System Approach to Construction Progress Monitoring and Control. Take note, class, that this module, as I've said before, these topics were based on the module provided by the department. Ayan. So ito yung ginagamit natin for this presentation. And then dinadagdagan ko siya based on the actual application that I've experienced and then the actual softwares that I can share with sa inyo para hindi lang tayo purely on the module aspect. So meron tayong application ng actual para meron tayong application sa actual scenario. Okay? Sige. But before that, wait lang. Pause lang muna tayo for 2 minutes. Wait lang. Okay. Class, mahina yung sound. Teka. Ayan, malakas na ba? O mahina pa din? Chat naman kayo, class. Okay na? Okay na daw. Sige. Okay, so let's proceed na with the topic for today. Then if you have any more, if you have any questions, please feel free to chat sa chat box natin. Okay? Ayan. So for the building information modeling, so our topic for today, our first topic would be a domain independent facility control framework. Okay. Ayan. So for the introduction, as what we've discussed before, di ba, under the module 5. So the facilities management plays a crucial role in ensuring the efficient and effective operation of buildings and infrastructure. Okay? Under the traditional FM, okay, yung dating or yung conventional, okay? Yung approach na ginagawa nila, it's involved manual process. Okay? And then they normally done it manually, and then sometimes it leads to inefficiencies and difficulties, especially if the facilities that they are handling is quite complex. Okay, to address these challenges, a domain independent facility control framework can be developed to provide a flexible and scalable solution for controlling various types of facilities. I think we already discussed this one last time, di ba, that they use the application of BIM in executing their FM tasks, di ba? So nasabi natin hindi lang siya sa design, hindi lang siya sa construction, pero pati doon sa operations of the structure. Okay, for the learning objective, it is for you to understand the domain independent facility control framework in BIM. Okay. So for the domain-independent facility control framework, so while control cycles are the basis of virtually all industrial activities, okay, take note that the facility acquisition process differs significantly from the most industrial processes in several ways. So take note, ang sinasabi natin dito is that um, nagbabago-bago yung um, yung ano to, yung yung activities, okay, within uh, within certain facilities. Hindi siya palaging pareho. Now, with that, nagkakaroon tayo ng somewhat program in a way that a certain program will work on this type of facility, and then if you apply that on a different facility, hindi siya magwo-work. So you need another set of guidelines for that one. Okay? So so um it differs significantly. So it includes, first is the lag time between the project phases. So magkakaiba naman yan depende sa facility. At the same time, the variety and number of stakeholders. So hindi siya pare-pareho. On the other hand, the variety of softwares tools used. So again, hindi din siya pare-pareho. And lastly, the changes introduced throughout the process. It's a case to case basis. Yun yung pwede nating masabi dito. Okay. And then under this module, it also includes the domain independent framework for control for building control. Okay, the framework is composed of 4 parts. First is the documentation of design resources requirements. Okay, I think ito yung sa una, yung earlier part na diniscuss natin. Next is captured of as designed, as built, and as operated facility models. So this one, I think we discussed this last meeting, wherein the application of BIM is throughout the as-built instead of having an as-built plan in front of you, which is a manual item. So we have it modeled, okay? So the as-built model as operated facility is being captured sa BIM natin. The next is comparison of as operated sensor. So we often include sensors information to the resources needed to operate the facility. Later we will magiging focus yan nung next topic natin in terms of the sensor information. And then lastly, the identification of appropriate corrective action. So this is what I'm saying a while ago dun sa previous slide, that it is a case-to-case basis on how are we going to operate a certain structure, provided that these corrective actions are tailored fit dun sa specific project or sa specific facility. Okay? Ayun. I think in addition to that, in terms of the sensor information or the information that you often get in terms of the monitoring, di ba meron ako na-share sa inyo last time na application na ginagawa nila sa Australia. So we can relate into that, wherein it is very much automated sa kanila pagdating sa mga information that they are that they already have. Okay, and then that they are going to use as they execute another task sa future. Lalo na kasi doon nga sa example natin, they use that to manage, to monitor, lalo na kung kinakailangan na nilang i-maintain yung mga assets nila. Okay, basically ganun din kasi. Yung example ko before is an asset based on a citywide, based on a wait, nawala yung screen ko. Isin ko lang. Okay, so yun. Yung binigay kong example last time is nakabase siya sa asset citywide or statewide sa Australia, wherein kumbaga in terms of facilities, buong city yung pinafacilitate nila. Pero on other aspects, they also facilitates yung mga existing structures. Okay, but then again, hindi lang naman siya limited sa existing structures. All right. So for the additional info, okay, an effort on this program of work, it began in 2008. So medyo matagal na. With the creation of a test bed to ensure that effort on multiple individual projects could be coordinated. Then next, project documenting information exchanges for design processes affecting facility sustainability were conducted. The exchanges necessary to capture building automation and control systems data were defined. So before they just set the baseline on how are they going to implement the facility control framework. And at the same time, then sabi din dito, next the structure needed to compare the facility requirement with actual performance were defined. A prototype framework developed. So yun nga, before kasi, as I said, di ba kung natatandaan nyo, di ba sabi ko sa inyo, nung college ako, eto panahon to, college ako nito that the BIM was starting to be implemented and then nagkakaroon ng mga hesitation, if I would say, di ba na-discuss natin last time yung sa inertia, yun. So, throughout the process, so nagsimula lang sila sa prototype hanggang sa na-execute na nila to globally. Then, finally, a new data mining and clustering algorithm was developed and tested. So, this effort resulted in the creation of an adaptive building control and feedback system. So, it's just they set or they program this algorithm, and then in terms of the data mining, so based on the 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 information being gathered, so they collate it in such a way that yung mga future users and then yung mga future applications would refer kung paano ba natin um, may apply yung BIM along the process. Kasi like for example, kung paano na-address yung isang certain scenario, what are the the environment on in it. So ngayon kapag ka naulit yung ganong classic system, okay? So alam na natin kung paano siya i-address. So doon yun yung ibig sabihin dito sa part na to. Okay, parang meron kang database kapag repetitive yung tasks. So ganito na yung mangyayari. So ganito yung gagawin natin. Okay, and then lastly is several tests of extensibility of this framework were also conducted. Now that this project have been concluded, this paper summarizes this program of work and introduces the overall facility control framework. Okay. For the building models, so we have a standardized data repository. So ito ay sinasabi natin, yung mga data collected nasa iisang location siya. Okay. In fields of study other than building informatics, it contains thousands of banks of scientific data sets and cases. So it was based on the paper or information from Marshall in 2010. Then first is the first open repository for building information was established in University of Auckland. So sinimulan nila dito. And then ayun, much of this contribution sa initial repository came from the Building Smart International, whose sample models have been traditionally allied, focused on software unit testing of specific building information, such as the geometric representation and steel connection detail. So if you could just read it line by line, so ayun na nga, naging specific yung information per building, okay, that would later on, if you're gonna collate it, nakakaroon ka ng database for you to have a reference sa future. Then, lastly, for its support, the development of an overall facility control framework, this project was developed a new repository of building information model called common BIM files. So for 3 buildings, a set of related model files were developed. Okay, so yun. Ito yung mga early stages of this BIM. Then, we have this toolkit. So, in addition to having a common set of test models, the team also developed a common software toolkit based on beamserver.org. So, this toolkit meets several important criteria that promote its use as a research and practice instrument. Okay? Then, first, yung performance toolkit has been benchmarked against large building. So, they use this toolkit, yun nga, para muna sa malalaking building. The techniques developed for researches purpose for research purposes may scale to realistically sized project. So having a sample na large project, so they just scale it doon sa realistic size ng isang project. So then this is important since the underlying platforms of many researches prototypes are unable to scale for production. Okay? Then second, the tool was attracted talent from practitioners and researchers. So ito nagkaroon ng interest na sa other individuals to perform or to facilitate this kind of topic. So who wanted to use a of building information software server without having to invest the time to develop underlying functionality outside their main research objective. So since na-establish na, so kaya nagkakaroon ng mga researchers and practitioners. I think if I could remember ng mga panahon na to, yung isa sa mga prof ko before, nagkaroon siya ng research about this one sa BIM. Ayun. Then yun. Next, an open source document platform provides transparency and repeatability, hallmarks of high-quality scientific research. And then finally, the licensing of the BIMserver.org allows the tool to be used for both research and commercial application. Both the size of models allowed and scope of server licensing may help researchers output to be more quickly used by their intended beneficiaries. Okay, so what are the key benefits or the key components and benefits that we can get through this through this ulit topic natin? AC through its domain independent facility control framework. So first is integration with the facility management. Okay, it acts bridge between BIM and the facility management system, enabling continuous data flow throughout the building's life cycle. Then followed by it reduced manual data entry. Okay, since nagkakaroon na tayo ng automation with this one, so we provide a central digital source of information. So it eliminates the need of redundant manual entry into separate FM systems. So ito kasi yung medyo mahirap kapag meron tayong human intervention. It minsan time consuming, minsan data can be altered, okay? And then sometimes lack of data naman kasi hindi nga siya automated. Kumbaga, pag hindi pa nailagay, so kulang talaga yung information. Okay. Then next is it improves the automation. Managers can use the digital model for tasks like virtual walkthroughs. I think I already discussed this one sa inyo na pag meron kang actual model ng structure, so mas madali sa iyo kaysa puntahan mo nasa computer mo na lang. Then it enhances our decision making as FM. Okay? Then next is the scalability and flexibility. So since it ranges from variety of or wide range of clients and projects, so we can adapt it one over the other as long as that we can scale up or scale down whatever our sample source maybe. And then lastly is the interoperability. Okay, it is built to work with different systems and technologies. Includes those for building control and Internet of Things by understanding data exchanges formats like IFC. I think I discussed this one sa inyo yung IFC. Ito yung ginagamit na platform sa collaboration ng BIM, di ba? If you could remember, nasabi ko sa inyo yung export the model to IFC, and then with that IFC, you collaborate it using Navisworks. Yeah. Okay, for the last slide, so yan. So how it works? So una, a single source of truth. So since we are based on a database, whatever is in there, so yun yung source natin. Next is data driven from the um, FM, from the facilities management, whatever data they have, okay? So that's the one we're going to process under this certain database. And then lastly, we have this continuous improvement. Okay, it supports the creation of digital twins, which are real-time digital replicas of the building. It allows us to continue monitor and optimization of building performance. Okay. So with that, so that's the end of this first topic. I hope it's very clear sa inyo on how, aside from having a model in front of you as part of the facilities management, how does it work? So again, it is data driven. The more data you have, um, the more accurate the solution you can get, or the more approaches that you can have along the way, kasi meron kang mga basis. Okay, so nagkakaroon ka ng mga benchmark with this one. Any question? Wala. Okay, sige, let's proceed with the last topic. So I assume walang question ha. So let's proceed with the last topic for this module. Okay, and then sa mga succeeding actual applications na tayo. Again, I will try. Wait nga, mamamatay pala yung laptop ko. Give me 2 minutes. Kukuha lang ang charger. Ayun, hello class, I'm back. Okay, sige. Let's proceed with the next topic. This topic is basically the adaptive cyber physical system approach to construction progress monitoring and control. So basically, we will just deal on how we apply BIM aside from having a model sa site. So paano ba siya nagwo-work with regards to monitoring and control throughout the construction progress. Okay. So for the introduction, so the construction industry faces significant challenges in ensuring timely project completion and meeting quality standards. Under its traditional method of progress monitoring and control, often rely manual inspection. So wala namang ibang other ways eh. For us is with this aside from doing manual inspection. and paper-based documentation. So yan lang din naman talaga yung ginagamit ever since, which can be time-consuming, error-prone, and inefficient. Well, with this one, I would say na this is the only efficient way we have before the introduction of this BIM. As I've said, hindi naman din lahat ng project ginagamitan ng BIM. Pero yun, for those complex project, it is much better for us to do it or to conduct it um, using BIM, lalo na yun na kung complex yung project. So to address these issues, an adaptive cyber physical system or ACPS can be employed to provide real-time monitoring, automated data collection, and intelligent decision-making capabilities. I think some of these are being applied lalo na doon sa mga infrastructure projects, lalo na kung medyo critical yung project na kailangan nila ng actual data monitoring doon sa structure or sa construction nila, lalo na kung complex yung project. I think an example of this one ng mga nakita ko are yung mga bridge project na minomonitor nila yung progress ng structure habang itinatayo. Well, sa ibang bansa to, na naglalagay sila ng mga sensors. So, eto kasi yun, and the only way you can adapt this ACPS is if you are installing sensors. Wala namang iba. Kunwari, nagpapatayo ka ng bahay, wala kang ibang kinabit dyan. Paano mo mamamonitor yun? So, yun nga, it is a real-time monitor using sensors with this one. Okay, so the learning objective for this topic is for you to familiarize with the cyber physical systems approaches to construction progress, monitoring, and control. Okay. So sabi dito ni Raj Kumar et al., cyber physical systems are physical and engineered systems. Okay, the operation of which are monitored, coordinated, controlled, and integrated by computing and communication core. So yun nga, as I've said, you installed something for you to monitor aside sa visual inspection. So then of course, if you installed a sensor or a monitoring device with that one, nakakonect yun directly sa system mo, lalo na sa computer. Okay? As per Wu et al. Have added another perspective sa CPSO, it supports the tight integration and coordination between the virtual resources and physical processes and components. In context, virtual resources include sensing system application, virtual models, databases, and actuators, which could generate automated outcomes when combined appropriately. Another thing is that the physical component of CPS includes construction activities and physical resources, whether in situ or preformed. Okay? In situ meaning actual applied, preformed, nagawa na bago pa dinala sa site. Or pwede natin sabihin cast in place and then precast, yung difference nito dalawa. Technologies such as radio frequency identification. Ito yung isa sa mga ginagamit or yung RFID, 'di ba? Naka-sensor lang parang sa expressway. Gumagamit tayo ng RFID, mga barcodes. Okay? Photographic methods and laser scanning. Ayan. Have been used for several years to capture data on construction system. Okay, so what makes the CPS some key features? Ayan. So again, according to et al., a system cannot be considered CPS unless it is be able to bridge the virtual design to physical world through the sensors. Ito sinasabi natin kanina, storages and applications, intelligent and decisions system actuators. So meaning, if you have a virtual design na nasa computer, yung physical world, yung actual na ginagawa mo sa construction, meron dapat tayo dyan cyber physical bridge na naglalagay tayo ng mga sensors sa physical world or sa actual construction para kapag may monitoring tayong ginagawa, it would be easily recorded doon sa virtual system natin. Okay, kumbaga para nare-replicate whatever is actual on site doon sa computer natin. And then, it goes hand in hand, balikan yan. Okay, data acquisition technology such as RFID system, wireless sensor, mobile system, computing and decision system, storage, and application platforms and actuators. So yan yung mga technologies na pwede natin gamitin. On the other hand, for the physical to cyber bridge, ito, sa baba. Ayan. Which is sensing process. Ayan. It involves using sensors and data acquisition technologies to acquire information about the process of the physical component or phenomena. So whatever is happening within the physical world or dun sa actual project, through its sensors, nare-read yan papunta sa virtual system. On the other hand, pagpabalik naman, it represents the actuation and show how the sense information affects the system. In context, actuation is taken to meaning making control decisions from the sense information and or using the sense information to physically control construction projects components. So to make it simpler, like for example, di ba nagpasok ka na ng information, for example, gumagawa ka ng tulay. So, dahil hindi pa tapos, for example, yung pinakadulo, dahil wala pang support, bumababa, nagde-deflect. So with that, it is being sensed through its physical world, tinatransmit yan doon sa design. Instead of for you to calculate it manually and see what would be the implication, and bago ka pa makapag-conduct ng action, paano mo ba gagawin yun para maiwasan if ever na magkaroon sa kuna. Okay? So it would be better na yun nga, whatever is being observed through its construction, through its physical world construction, if you apply that sa virtual design, pwedeng ipakita sa'yo ng virtual design what would be the implication with that one. Yun yung sinasabi dito. Paano siya makaka-apekto doon sa system. Now with that, since sasabihin sa'yo kung ano yung possible na mangyari, ano yung pwedeng effect. So, having said that, through the information that are being processed sa virtual design, you can now decide ano bang dapat kong gawin? Ano bang dapat naming gawin para maiwasan yung pwedeng mangyari? Or mayroon ba kaming dapat gawin o hayaan lang? Okay, so basically ganun. So doon nagkakaroon tayo ng cyber physical breach under the decision making kung para mas madali sa atin yung pagkocontrol ng mga decisions kung ano ba? How are we going to move forward with this one? I hope class clear yan ha on how they work in terms of physical cyber breach to cyber physical breach. Okay. Under ACPS or the adaptive cyber physical system, okay, increased investigators have focused on the development of new sensors, which offers opportunity for enhancing the level of automation and adaptability between the virtual design and physical system, as required conventionally by CPS. An example of such developments include of that RFID, which is capable of real-time location sensing system, or the RFID RTLS. The RTLS stands for real-time location sensing. Ayan siya. Real-time location sensing. Yan yung RLTS. Okay? So RFID RLTS provides real-time location tracking of tag components, and this mark reduces the computational effort required to track the previous RFID tags. In addition, RFID RTLS promotes constricted integration rather than adaptive way of physical components with their corresponding virtual representation in the model by using the purpose-made software application. Okay? Sabi dito ni Bezadan et al. Okay, other high-precision real-time sensors have listed. So, una to include tracking based on wireless local network, okay, Bluetooth transmissions, and dedicated spectrums. The system resulting from this has also been referred to as the adaptive cyber physical system by many authors. So hindi lang siya RFID, so meron pa tayo other high precision real-time sensor na pwedeng gamitin. So how it works? So paano siya gumagana? Una is the integration. So CPS tightly links the physical construction elements, so sa actual, with their digital representation in the BIM model. So nagkakaroon tayo ng calibration, integration and calibration with this one. So para kapagka meron tayong na-monitor sa site, real time makikita dun sa model, and at the same time, hindi ano siya, accurate siya. So kaya siya CPS tightly links physical construction elements. So some sort of may calibration with this one. Then data collection, yun nga naglalagay tayo ng sensors in the construction process. And then feedback loop. This data is sent to sa BIM model which acts as the central brain. The model processes the information and can send commands back to the physical world via actuator. So basically, yun nga, it is part of the physical cyber breach. Tama ba? Physical cyber breach? Yeah. Ayan. And then next is the adaptation. Okay? The system can adapt real-time condition. For example, it can automatically adjust the workflow if delay is detected. Trigger alerts, ito yung sinasabi natin kanina, kung meron, if ever na may makita on-site na, na may possible mangyari based doon sa actual condition na nasa virtual world na. For potential, okay, safety issues or update of facades, adaptive features based on weather data. Okay, so what can we benefit from this from this ACPS? So una is the real-time monitoring followed by the intelligent decision making. So, okay, so nagkakaroon tayo ng additional insights kasi para kung magkakaroon tayo ng decision making. Sometimes if the program is is modeled based on its database tapos may algorithm, so siya na mismo nagsasabi ng suggestion. Kasi ibig sabihin na-encounter na yun before and yun yung naging decision. Pero but then again, the actual decision would come from the actual engineers or applicators sa real world or sa real time. Okay, kung sino man yung mismong final decision maker. Next is adaptive control, followed by the improved integration, and then lastly, enhanced safety. Okay? So for the forms of building information, so saan ba saan ba natin pwedeng ma-apply ito? So I think we discussed this one naman before, pero just for the sake of this topic, so first is the design visualization model. During the design analysis, I think I already discussed this one to you before. Tsaka yung fabrication model. And also as part of the as-built and facility simulation model, ito naman is throughout the construction process. Ako na pinag-uusapan lang natin ngayon. And then also the process of optimization model. So it also happens during the construction na din dahil you can optimize naman yung mga decisions and yung mga designs throughout the construction process. Hanggat hindi pa siya natatapos, pwede pa ma-optimize. Okay, for the RFID RTLS system, so first is it increased investigations, have focused on the development of new sensors which offers opportunities for enhancing the level of automation and adaptivity, adaptivity between the virtual design and the physical system. Then next is an example of such developments includes the RFID, so na-discuss natin kanina, and then the RFID RTLS, it provides real-time location tracking of the tag components, and this markedly reduces the computational effort required. The next is, in addition to RFID RTLS, it promotes constricted integration rather than adaptive way of physical components with their corresponding virtual representation in the model. So by using purpose-made software application. And then lastly, meanwhile, other high-precision real-time sensors have been listed. Yun nga, I think ito na din yung nasabi natin kanina, yung wireless LAN, Bluetooth, and so on. Okay, so ayan, para magkaroon tayo ng additional idea on how RFID RTL system works. So we have this location engine, medyo luma yung CPU. Okay, so do they use Wi-Fi, internet, or LAN? We have this master anchor, and then we have this slave anchor, which identifies or which gather data papunta doon sa ating master anchor, then going back to the location engine server. Ayun. So with that, so that's the end of our lesson. I think yun, hopefully may natutunan kayo dito that BIM does not only works on during the design, does not works only during the construction, again does not work only during the facilities management and so on. So basically, the application of BIM works from its very concept papunta sa very application or doon sa pinaka ano na, yung sa day-to-day use na ng isang facility natin. So with that, so that's the end of our BIM lesson, BIM module. Okay, so I think although I will check yung ating syllabus if I miss something, pero based on the module that were provided by the department, so everything is being taken care of. Tsaka na discuss naman natin, nakapagdagdag ako, I think wala doon sa module yung na-discuss na level of development which often applies during the design stages. And it is based on the contract kung ano yung napag-usapan, and then ano pa, in terms of the BIM software, so may papagawa naman ako sa inyo. I hope class meron kayo natutunan sa ano natin, sa module natin under BIM. But then again, I will check the module if in case I missed some topics pa na wala dito sa module. Hindi, mali. I will check the syllabus pala. I will check the syllabus if there are topics that are not under this module. I will discuss it further. Okay, I'll let you know if we will still conduct lessons about BIM or we will proceed on other softwares that can be used sa BIM. Kasi medyo mahaba pa naman yung ano natin, semester natin. Meron pa tayong more than I think about 2 months pa kasi January pa matatapos yung ano natin. With that, do you have any question? Wala? Sige. If you don't have any more question, let me just download the attendance. And then class yun, as I've said, although, baka isipin nyo, i-cancel ko na muna yung recording. Alright.